Right, so here's the test. Germany or China? Let's see. Well, these are brand new, these Knipex ones, and these are also brand new. So I got them out of the box and we'll see which is best. First things first, we don't like getting dirty, so let's stick some gloves on. After all, we are electricians, no one likes to get dirty hands. Right, so what I'm going to test it on is coaxial, a bit of 1mm twin and earth, 3 core or 4 core, it's got the earth in there as well, 1mm, and then 4mm cable, twin and earth. We've got some 10mm earth, 16mm earth. We're going to use it, we're going to go up in stages, so hopefully it don't get wrecked. And then some 25mm tails. And also I've been asked in one of the videos, does it cut this steel wire? Well, we're going to try that as well. And then banding, we'll try that. And then I just found out the other day when I was putting some ducting in, that ducting wire is a bit of a nightmare to cut. So we're going to try it on that as well. So which one shall we do first? Well, I haven't actually used this Knipex yet, they're straight out of the box. So let's try the Knipex on the coaxial. Beautiful, cuts them beautifully, lovely and clean, if you can see that, lovely and clean. Right, let's try these Chinese ones. You do have to push a little bit harder with these. Not as smooth, but again, exactly the same cut. Right, so then let's try the 1mm twin and earth. So the Knipex ones, look at that. Yeah, I thought it would be. Thing is, these aren't spring loaded as well. These ones are, which if you're an experienced electrician, you know how you hold your kit and you cut them. It's just easier. So the Knipex, yep, they cut them like it's out of the factory, spot on. These from China, exactly the same, cut them like it's out of the factory, spot on. Right, so let's try this. Double the cores in this one, so there's 4 cores in here. Again, you don't have to push as hard with these. They're sort of a bit, maybe because they're brand new or I don't know, but they do seem nice. And then China, let's try these. Yep, you gotta do it a bit more again. It feels like you just gotta squeeze that a little bit harder, but not hard enough for to be limp wrists. You've got to be quite weak to not be able to do it. So this is the same, cuts it beautifully and lean. So at the minute, I think they're dragging even. They're doing it quite well. So then let's try Germany, the Knipex ones, on the 4mm. Yeah, you have to push a bit harder, but not much. I'm happy with that. Really good cut, exactly the same, like it's out the factory. So let's try the Chinese ones. Again, exactly the same. So yeah, they're both passed, still even on that. Let's try the 10mm earth. This is a 10mm cable, solid core. With the Knipex, spot on once again. They'll cut them lovely. And then the Chinese ones. Again, you do have to pull. I feel like you have to squeeze that a little bit harder with these, but as long as you're strong, I suppose, you can still get a clean cut. Right, so that's up to 10mm. So let's try 16mm cable. Let's try Germany first. Yeah, as I expected, it cut beautifully. No damage whatsoever on these at the moment. Spot on. So let's try the Chinese. Every time I pick these up, you do have to squeeze a little bit harder. But like I say, it's spot on, cut again. So quite even. It's just that with these ones, maybe they're spring loaded or not made as well, but you don't have to squeeze as hard with these. They're quite simple and easier to do. Right, so let's up the game a little bit with some 25mm. So let's try Germany first, the Knipex. Yes. Yeah, that cuts them lovely once again. And then China. Oh, these don't open up as much to be able to get them in there. But once I get in there, yeah, they cut them the same. You've got to push them in there, you've got to get them in there. Don't open up just that little bit as much. And you do have to squeeze that little bit harder. You have to be have strong wrist basically. But yeah, that 25mm, spot on once again. Right, well then now, for this steel wire, well I'm going to leave that till last, because I don't know how it's going to affect the cutters. So let's try the banding first. The banding. So then, these cut them simply, beautifully, easy. I find that they're quite simple to do. These Knipex ones, someone said that they get wrecked for cutting banding. So let's try them. Nah, not a chance. They cut them spot on. They do a good job. Right, then let's try this stranded cable. So let's try Germany, the Knipex first. What's it going to cut like? Cut some spot on, to be honest. Not a problem whatsoever. Went straight through. Doesn't look like it's damaged it whatsoever. Yeah, lovely. I'm happy with that. And these ones, not as good. It just didn't do as good. I think with these ones, you've got to put it right down in the jaw. It's got a different cutting blade. So yeah, when you put it right down in the jaw, it cuts it lovely. It cuts it just as easy as the Knipex. So yeah, the spot on. Just don't try and cut it with the big blade. They've got like a little one at the bottom. If you can see that. Cut that with that little one. But yeah, they both do the same. So then now then, this, you know, it's a nightmare when you've got to a certain length, it's hanging out the ceiling, and you think, right, I need to cut that little bit. It's a bleeding nightmare. So let's try it with the Chinese ones first. Yeah, cuts it easy. Lovely and easy. And then the Knipex ones, so again, you've got it out the ceiling, you just want to cut it that little bit shorter. So then you want to get your Knipex pliers from Germany, once again. Yeah, cuts it lovely and easy. So they're on par with each other. Now, let's try terminating. So let's try, a little bit more on that, I've pulled it out now. So let's try terminating with the Knipex. So we'll give it a little bit, and we're going to pull it off. And it did score it a little bit on there. Maybe that's me. Let's do it again. So, just score it, pull the end off. Yeah, beautifully. That does that lovely on there. That's on the 1mm 3/4. So then what if we want to terminate it? So it's got on there, what's it got? 2.5 cable and 0.7 to 1.5. So let's try 0.7. If you're an electrician, you know, you know the feeling of maybe how much to put the pressure on. But yeah, these do seem spot on for terminating once you get them in the right gap. So let's chop that off. And let's tie China. Now Chinese ones have got, well, they've got 1mm, 1.5, 2mm, 2.5, 4mm. So they've got a few different sizes on there. So let's see what it's like when we need to terminate. Once again, it didn't mark it that time, but maybe because I didn't squeeze as much, but it didn't mark it that time. And then we're going to try terminating it, and obviously with the 1mm. Yep, they pull off lovely. They're quite even, I think, at the minute, these pliers. So yeah, they're good. I think they're just as good as each other at the moment. Right, what about if you want to terminate some 25? So let's try these. Well, these are going to be a little bit difficult because they don't go in as well. But if we score it round, pull it off. Ugh. It's not really got it. Pull it off. There we go. And then put that core in there, score it round, pull it off. So yeah, it scores it round, but look, it looks like a dog's chewed it a little bit. But it's not too bad, it does the job. So then, let's get it back in here, chop her off, and try it with the Knipex. Right, so let's try this, score it round. And then use, it does the same really, it looks like a bit of a dog's dinner. Whoa, there we go, pull it off. Yeah, it looks like a bit of a dog's dinner what you've done there, but it does the trick. And terminating wise, exactly the same effort I think with both pliers. It terminates it spot on. Let's chop that off. Well, that's just proved that although these are sort of, well, less than half the price of the Knipex ones, they do the same job and they do exactly the same. These have got extra features where they've got the little crimp at the bottom, but if you've got a crimper, you know that you like to use your proper crimper for them. And they're the same as pliers, they've got more gauges in there. I think that's for the American market as well. And they've got the spring loaded. So they're basically the same, they cut the same, they do the same job. But these ones are a little bit more expensive. And I will say that these ones do it a little bit more with ease. I assume, like when you cut things, they're a bit easier. So if you've got limp wrists, spot on, get some of these. But if you're a bit tougher and you don't want to spend 60 bucks, then get some of these. Another thing that's been mentioned is that these aren't VDE. So they won't stand up to 1,000 volts like these ones if you make a mistake. We do make mistakes every now and again. You make a mistake by cutting a cable, it'll blow holes. Well, as you know, because in my last video, I have cut a hole. I snipped a live cable and it popped a hole in these ones. Well, I'm still alive. It didn't kill me. I didn't get a shock. I didn't feel anything. It just went pop, obviously. I've just noticed on these Knipex, we've also got the crimping bit. You can see that on there. You can also crimp. So it's the same as these, but these have got it at the bottom, these have got it at the top. So you can crimp with these as well. These have got more of a long nose plier to these ones. But then these ones again are sort of the mirror image, I think. So these have got a long nose plier as well. So they're the same, but different. But now all you need to decide is which ones you want. Now all you need to decide is if you want to get China or Germany. But having a pair of these, you will use them all the time for terminating. They are handy. You use them every day. I think these pliers are handy and I do use them every day for my everyday cutters. So all you need to decide is whether you're China or Germany.